Hello, guys and girls. This is most definitely Wrestle Up, not however the hell I called it last time we chatted. And I am Andy N. Colleague above me is Paul. And the colleague beneath us, I think tonight is, what do you reckon, Paul? Is he going to be Umor or is he going to metamorphose into Dre Zaya?
I think we have Umor on the call, but we never really know.
I know last time we chatted, he was
the poor bloke. That, to be fair.
Last time we had you with us, Umor, you had about 2 or 3 heart attacks, and I was getting rid of an ambulance out where you live in Underwood. But anyway, how are you both guys after this morning's AEW pay-per-view? Then are you both absolutely knackered?
Let me tell you what happened. Yeah, so I did a live stream on my Facebook from midnight-ish till about 5 a.m. Right, 5-hour live stream. But the problem was the last 40 minutes of Full Gear, I fell asleep, and I fell asleep. So there was 40 minutes sleeping on air. You can watch it back if you want. But then what happened afterwards is I went to bed at 5 a.m. and then properly because I woke up I woke up at 8 a.m. and then watched the last 40 minutes and I'm up to date.
Brilliant.
Oh.
I know
Have
Paul,
you only
you
had
stopped.
3 hours sleep?
No rest for the wicked, isn't it?
That's too much, that isn't it? I couldn't have done that pace now. I know weren't you up to the end of it, Paul, weren't you, as well, then, didn't you say before?
Yeah, I stayed up until 5. I did. I fell asleep for 5 minutes, I was told, after, in the middle of the Darby Allin Cody Rhodes match. But other than that, I was up until 5. I got the end of it.
God. Well, I went to bed at 11 o'clock, got up at 8 and started watching at 9 this morning. So I watched the pay-per-view, the extra match for Serena Dween versus, obviously, Alison Kay. Then I want to get hold of it by alternative revenue streams after that. So I've watched it slowly throughout the day. So I've got plenty to talk about. Right, okay then, gentlemen. What should we start with then? Should we start with the thing you showed me before it? That's pretty cool. The buy-in. I said I underlined buy out there. The buy-in. I didn't watch the buy-in. Did either of you two watch any of that?
I bought into the buy-in because it is free. And let me just say, by the way, right now in our chat, Andy said that he went to bed at 11:30. Now, I have on good authority that he liked my post at 1:20 in the morning.
Well, I woke up, Bobby. That's why, right?
This is fraudulent behavior.
Yeah, I know. I think I woke up to go to the toilet. That's why.
If you're still up, and it's free on YouTube.
I'll have to look at this. I want to see 40 minutes of it. 40 minutes of review fastest snoring. Oh, I can't believe it.
You know, I only watched it. But do you know the funniest thing is, right? So I had calling in guests throughout. So I had my mate Butters that was on the last hour, and I think when I fell asleep, I think it was Umor, hello, okay, guys, I think it's asleep.
Oh, fantastic, mate!
Absolutely. That is prime quality content. You're not going to get anywhere else.
Yep, you can. You should put that on Patreon as a Patreon-only special. Right. Anyway, seriously. Okay, on to the buy-in then. So, what was the any of you two any comments about the buy-in? Anything you want to say?
You see the buy-in. Doesn't waste time. Just gives out the promos. Gives us a good quality match of Serena D versus Alison Kay. And that's it. I don't want fluff with some panel. I don't care about people's opinions that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? As in the whole panel, if they all disappeared into the abyss the next day, then none of them would be amiss. But anyway, I do not want any harm or disrespect to anyone that's in the abyss. But before you go to the abyss, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel.
Good to me. Now, obviously, on the Serena Dween versus Alison Kay match, have you two seen Alison Kay wrestle before?
I'd seen a very small bit on. I know she was in. I don't know, was it TNA or Impact? It's Impact.
Impact at one point, yeah.
Little.
I know she was in.
I haven't seen very much.
And a guy I worked with watches the NWA, and he said she was really good in NWA. So I didn't know her.
She was the person. Thunder Rosa won the title off her, I believe, wasn't it?
I think it was that. Yeah, I think it was that. So, in relation to this fight, I thought it was a good solid fight. This one, actually, I was really impressed with her, to be honest with you. And I know she's now with it seems the common word at the moment seems to be free agent, doesn't it? That AEW seems to like constantly highlighting. And I thought, to be honest with you, I thought she was worth taking the punt on, to be honest with you. AEW doesn't sign her. Looked good, solid worker. So
it's nice to see. Nice to see Serena Deeb, new champion. Remembering back to the good old straight edge society days.
Oh God, yeah, you do. You forget how long she's been around, really, because. When was the straight edge society? That was a good 15 years ago.
2009.
Yeah, that was good.
Around that time.
Yeah, now she's been around. I've been around for a while. She's a good worker. And I thought it was a good solid to fight this. Umor, have you got much to add about it?
No, Paul hit right on the head.
Yeah. Well, how did you both feel then about Thunder Rosa coming out doing a promo at the end of it?
She's not signing for WWE. Thank fuck.
Yeah. No. Don't want her there. Definitely don't. I don't think WWE would use, to be honest with you, any of the women those 3 women that well, and they're all too good workers for WWE's wrestling over there. So
after the Shida Thunder Rosa match a few months ago, I am just very excited to see more Thunder Rosa.
Yeah,
I'm very happy to see her back on TV.
Yes, it's an extraordinary match that was, one of the best women's match I've seen in quite a while. That match was, but that's in the past. So, should we give this a mark? This match, guys? It's about 13 minutes or something. I read in Wade Keller's report before.
I slightly messed up as I missed the start of this match because I was getting snacks and my backstabbing roommate never told me the match had started. So from what I saw looked fairly good. Just kind of a nice solid start, kind of 3.5 star match. No complaints, but just kind of enjoyable match from what I saw.
Yeah, okay. Sounds about right to me. That I'll say 3.5 as well. Coming in, but what are you gonna do? You're gonna give it 3.75 here.
3.5.
Hey, look at that. Now, everyone's our usual regulars. We notice we do tend to vary our marks. Well, we've all gone for 3.5 out of 5. That is rare. That's really rare. That one. I'm impressed. Yeah. Are we all start thinking along the same lines all the time now? Who knows? Anyway, on to the main card.
I don't think so.
I doubt it.
It's early in the podcast yet.
On to the main card. Anyway, so first match we have is Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page. I've got to say, I was really surprised when Don Callis came on. I was not expecting to see him come down there as a guest announcer. That was a big surprise. That one was. So, what did either of you two know about that in advance? He was coming to get guest comments on the first fight.
No, I think there was some rumors going on wrestling sites just before the show started, but it was fairly well kept under wraps, I think, up until then. Yeah, it was great. A really nice surprise that was. So, okay, Umor, would you like to start off with Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page?
This is the reason why AEW is by far a more superior brand than World Wasted Entertainment. I feel that Kenny Omega showcased why he is the cleaner, and by the end of the match, he cleaned up the business.
Yeah, it was a sublime fight. It was, and I like the fact where there were several points in it when JR was being very subtle, basically saying that he's turned heel. Was so good. He was very aggressive in this fight. It was, and I loved it. I thought really well. It was a really good fight. This was, and I like the fact where there was a couple of bits in it when I actually thought Hangman Page was going to win it. It came close, and it was that sort of really was a good fight. Really good fight that was, from 17 minutes or so. What do you think, Paul?
You know, just as you bring him up, I want to say, because I often give out about him, I feel, on these podcasts, but while not perfect, I think Jim Ross was actually on really good form last night.
Yeah, he was.
I think he actually had some good calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was not like I really enjoyed the match. Again, I very rarely don't enjoy a Kenny Omega match, and the build up to this was perfect. The slow build, it was all great. Kenny Omega's new character is great. I suppose it was a bit shorter than a lot of people expected, but like I think this is the first step in this rivalry, really. So I think it was kind of perfect the way they did it. Like, this is obviously not going to be the last time we see this match.
No, that's for sure of it. It's got to be a certain. They're going to want to have a rematch between these two somewhere down the line. That's for sure of it. So, and you're at 17 minutes. It perhaps they could have gone on longer, but no, that'd be in the future, wouldn't it? So they've got time on their hands of both of them, because they mentioned Hangman Page is 8 years younger than Kenny Omega, isn't he? Did I read that
Yeah, he's
right?
only 29. He's still very young.
Yeah.
And
what's Kenny? How old's Kenny Omega? Was mid-30s?
Just gone 37, I think. Last month.
They've got loads of time for those two then, so definitely. Right. Have you two got anything else you want to add about this fight before we move on?
That's it.
4.5 stars. It can't be 5 stars, because I think they left a little bit on the table, which I agree with Paul. I think there'll be a future match going down, but I think Kenny Omega is back. Hangman Adam Page was an exceptional wrestler in the final, but I think right man won.
Yeah, I agree with both. Yeah, I agree with both of you on that. I think it's they can always go back to pushing Hangman Page next year. I think but they have to get Kenny Omega over first, and I think this is probably the quicker journey they can do it on. So that way, then they've got effect. You didn't really know if obviously whoever won out of Moxley fight at the end, of course they've got them, and we'll come on to that in a bit. They've got effect now, but they've got 3 months over to build it, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh, well, unless they put it on free TV, but you never know.
Doubt it. I don't think so, do you? But yeah, you're right. It's not a possibility. So we'll see. So, but no, I'm gonna go with what Umor said. I think it's a 4.5 star match. I thought it was a very good start to the pay-per-view. That was.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, there was a few moments in it with Kenny where there was a couple little things that they weren't. It wasn't like a botch, but it was kind of a little like when he went for the, what you call it, the kind of somersault moonsault. When he kind of like, he seemed to like hurt his knee a couple of times throughout it, but it was kind of done so well you weren't even sure if it was planned or not. And he reacted so well to it. But it was definitely a great match. They did leave a little bit on the table, but what they gave us was practically perfect. I think 4.25, 4.5. Perfect way to go.
Good start to the pay-per-view then. Okay. Second match on the card was Orange Cassidy versus Umor's favourite from the Dark Order, John Silver.
No, that's Dre's era. Don't know about Dark Order.
No, fair play.
You're not a Dark Order fan, Umar?
We know Dre is.
I like liked milkshakes.
Yeah. I'll start off with this one then. So I felt I've come talk about. I thought loads about this one. I could really, but in some ways it was a change in gears compared to what we had in the first match. And obviously, considering it was Cody versus Darby Allin next, I think it was the right move to change gears with this, to try and change the tempo. Because I think it probably needed it. I don't think you could have done what came next straight after that first match, could you? It would have been probably too intense. And I think I liked in this case when he started off with, you had Orange Cassidy doing the bit where he's doing greatest hits moves almost, didn't he, on John Silver. And John Silver was, I love the fact he was just going like a caveman and mad he was. And then they built it up then slowly. So, yeah. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, no, John Silver really impressed me. Like, his intensity, how he played the match was just very, very entertaining.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
I think you're right. Like, the second match in the card is often sometimes one of the hardest ones to pull off, because you do usually have that big kind of spectacle in the first match and then just kind of trying to carry that on. And I think having a serious match in that spot doesn't always work. So I think this was perfect. It was kind of funny, but it was also, that lovely Orange Cassidy mix of still a good wrestling match. And I think they just pulled it off really, really well. They achieved what they wanted to do perfectly.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't expect it to be as long as it was, actually. And I'm not complaining, but I was kind of surprised.
It was longer than I expected. It was 10 minutes, apparently, according to Wade Callis. Umor?
Hello. Sorry. Must be like on the last live stream. Anyway, so I believe that what an exceptional opportunity for John Silver. Who would have thought? Who would have thought a year ago we will be saying that John Silver will be in a pay-per-view, not on a buy-in, one-on-one match. That is exceptional, and it shows how popular he's become. He is a great testament to the Dark Order, and yeah, I think this match definitely deserves, I would say, a 3.25 rating. I don't think you can get higher than that with the time length and that. Good solid 3.25. Orange Cassidy squeezing, oozing quality. And John Silver complimented. I think it was great. And like Paul said, they hit it out of the park, being the match following Omega Hangman Page. And that's no easy feat. That's like Bon Jovi following Andy N. Like,
yeah. There's a big rumor going around. I've heard come up, and obviously people will know this. We're on a Pride PM group on Facebook, and I've heard this a bit more detail from somebody else that Leva Bates is about to come into the Dark Order and could be doing a duo with John Silver. And I think that could really be interesting because then you could, because Jim Ross said at one point he felt that John Silver should break away from Dark Order. I definitely heard him say that, and I thought to myself, they both go in, they could really have a star with him because he's really got charisma. I think he's really, really good fun to watch. This certainly isn't a 4.5 star match for any stretch for me, so I'm going to say 3.5. But it's still a very good fight.
Yeah. Becoming quite worried about agreeing too much, but I'm also on the 3.25, 3.5 kind of star. It did exactly what it needed to do. Fun, solid match that helped the pay-per-view go on and give something different for the audience.
Yeah, I agree completely. So right, okay. On to next then. We're on to Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin in the TNT title match. Now, am I right in thinking, was this the first time that Cody's actually been called Cody Rhodes?
Yes. It was only last Wednesday, I think, WWE officially dropped the claim to the trademark.
Thank lasagna for that. Listen, WWE, you can take people switch channels. You can take the copywriting of Andy N's Wrestle Up. No, don't do that.
Please don't. Please don't.
Third, you cannot get rid of the surnames of wrestlers. You greedy ingrates. I mean, let me tell you, if you guys are behave like this, right? If you guys continue behaving like this, then think Lasagna Biden's coming in because he's going to clean up house.
Now, a quick question before we start as well. I'm going to ask Paul this first, and ask you second. What did you reckon to the idea now of the expanded, obviously, Rhodes family? We got the Gun Club and Lee Johnson joined them.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I just don't really have very strong feelings about it.
I know.
Kind of sure.
I'll tell you why, right? You know what it is, right? The Nightmare family is trying to be diverse. And they're like, oh man, all these factions have got diversity. We need Lee Johnson. Now, I know I don't want to spoil AEW Dark, but the Dark that happened the night before, he's gone 0-10 record. This is not Nightmare family material. This is literally beyond deplorable. What is this? Andy, what is this? What is Lee Johnson doing with his blood?
I found it a bit weird because I tried to watch Dark when I get a chance. I know we had 2 on last week, and I watched the second one. I've got to watch the first one this week coming. But I found it a bit weird because he's obviously he can move, but he's no more than what cannon fodder at the moment. But they must see something in him.
Yeah, just I don't know. I think it's supposed to just have maybe give it a chance, see if anything interesting happens out of it. I don't think there's much.
Lee
there
Johnson,
yet.
if you're commenting below, like chat to us. You're free to come on the show, Lee. Listen, right, talk to us. Why the hell have you joined the Nightmare family? Because I mean, I don't know if you'd rather be in the Nightmare family or being with MJF. We'll talk about MJF a lot later on, but we know where the real money is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just found it a bit of a strange choice for him. You think really like it was like they put Will Hobbs solo, didn't they? And I think Will Hobbs is good. He's good prospect, really good prospect. I think.
Talk about Will Hobbs in regards to the Darby Allin Cody match, but you know what? Let's talk about So the first question is let's talk about the quality of the match. So Andy, what did you think of the quality of the match? And tell us why that Cody needs to stop. Like he needs to stay on the hair color, man. Like all this black hair, blonde hair.
Confuses me. Confused the frig out of me completely. No, I thought this was a good match actually. Again, really, really good match. It was a slow burner, but I liked and I noticed well, it's about 17 minutes again. It was very similar length to the first one. And I felt it seemed to build up this one, and I liked the fact where you had Cody. Obviously, they were insinuating was trying to physically overpower Darby Allin, and I liked what stood out to me was when they brought all the entourage out for Cody, and you had Darby Allin sat there with his head down on the barrier, like it was just not playing the blinds with attention to it. I thought it seemed really had something for his character. It did, but there was Jim Ross said it at the beginning of it. He felt like Cody had to become an in-ring bully to take control of this match. And what was interesting was he couldn't manage it. And I thought that was really, really interesting. And we probably could clash styles in the pair of them. I thought it was a really good matches. Very different to the first two matches. But I think that's what Cody's very good at, I think, he seems to be able to vary his style with hints of being a heel a lot at the moment. But still putting a really good match out of it. No, really good match. Really enjoyed it. Paul?
Yeah, I think the pay-per-view in general did a really good job of kind of differentiating its matches. Like there was a real variety of styles, real variety of stories being told. I think this is a really good one. I think Darby getting the win was a really good decision. I think, I think Cody said it on Twitter afterwards that, the rookies are not rookies anymore. That, actually giving them the time to shine, actually giving them the title and running with it, as opposed to just being you can't have them all being and waiting all the time. So I think I'm really interested to see what Darby will do now.
Yeah,
guys, I've just got a message from this guy called Dre Zero. Hold on, it's on this Corolla brick. Hold on. Oh, that's right. Why did Brody Lee lose his title so soon to a man that lost his title? As in, is this what Brody Lee has been disgraced by AEW? Oh, you're glad that Cody the Trash Rhodes is not the champion anymore because Darby Allin, he's the real deal. Whoa, incredible stuff. So I thought this was a great match. I thought it was, I feel that, to be honest, I think that I'm glad that Darby won. I think that finally it told a story where I felt that this was the third real meeting between them. All the matches, if my memory serves me correctly, the first match was a draw. The second match was when Cody narrowly won, and the third match is when Darby did his thing. And you know what? It's ringing again. No, I can't say it on air. I can't say it. Sorry. Apologies for that. Good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Before we mark it, I'll ask you both about the angle that came after the match involving Taz and his boys. Now, what did you both think to that? I'll start with you, Umor, this stuff.
Sorry. Flippin' Greg Vera keeps shouting at me in the background. Can you repeat that? Can you repeat the shorthand?
Yeah, we had an angle straight after the fight finished, or pretty close to it, when Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, and Taz came down and started beating up both Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes. What did you reckon to that angle then?
You know what I think? I think Cody is. I don't think Cody's a nice man. I think deep down, I think he's working with Taz.
Why not? Why not? I'd like to see that. I'm up for that.
This is a bit of a conspiracy situation here. Why did he not stop FTW? Because he doesn't care about Darby.
Ooh.
No, it could be interesting. That I'm up for that. I'm still hot.
Guys, I'm coming back. By the way,
4 stars.
Where's that?
Yeah, I think I'll go with 4 stars as well. It's not as good as the first fight.
Yeah.
I thought it was better than the second one, so 4 for me as well, I reckon.
Yeah, that ending image of Darby on the front of the car with the skateboard saying the new face of TNT, I think was just beautiful.
very iconic.
Yeah.
You know what? Darby Allin is, you know what? I'm going to say controversial statement. Darby Allin is everything that Sting wish he'd be.
Ooh, controversial. Now,
and I'm very sorry to say I'm also giving it 4 stars.
Oh, this is getting good tonight. This teamwork.
This podcast, right? Explain yourself. Why is Darby Allin already better than you?
Should we bring Sting on to ask him as a person, as a guest in this podcast? The 3 of us can ask him.
Just to clarify, people who not Sting the musician, Sting the wrestler.
Oh, before saying Sting the musician in that. Yeah, no, well, no. I'm going to eventually see how they do it with Darby, because they've got him very stylized promos at the moment, haven't they? Where he doesn't talk lots like the other wrestlers do. But how does he do it as a champion? Could be quite interesting. So,
well, I mean, you know what they need, right? I've just had a rumor that maybe there'll be a new mouthpiece, maybe for Darby Allin, and it's not going to be Paul Heyman, it's Paul McNamara.
Oh, I have that. Top secret exclusive.
It gets 57,000 likes. Then Paul will be flying over to Florida the next day.
Ireland is on lockdown. They won't let me out.
You won't get me out of Manchester either. Yeah. So.
The whole pack situation. In my live stream the day before, sorry, on the actual when Full Gear happened, there are 2 flights going to Florida every day from Heathrow Airport. So,
ooh. Apparently, it's in the case of Pac. I've read up on this before. It's reasonably easy enough to get him out to America, but it's a case of getting him back into Britain afterwards. Apparently, it's quite harder. So I think they're going to have to do some working around with that. But what did you both think to his promo of Impact? Not Impact this week. Dynamite and Impact got TNA in the brain. Did you both like the surrealness of his promo?
I haven't seen the full promo.
Oh, you've not seen it? Oh, it's quality. Make sure you do. You can track that down quite easy.
I'm talking about Pac's full promo.
Yeah, Pac's promo. Oh, I really enjoyed that.
Something, guys. He is the pride of Newcastle, and let me tell you right now, that promo just showcased why I honestly believe that the next feud with a name that we'll talk about later. Let's just say this feud might involve the Butcher and the Blades faction, but we'll talk about that later.
Later on. We'll do that at the end of the program, definitely. Now, we did have, after that, we had a brief promo with QT Marshall on Dustin Rhodes. And I thought a good solid promo of that, didn't you? No complaints my side of that. I think it'll be a nice heated match that will be on Dynamite this Wednesday. They mentioned it was a bunkhouse match. I don't know what a bunkhouse match is. Anybody ideas?
I know what a bunk bed is, but I don't know what a bunk bed is.
Yeah, the same. Yeah, it could be interesting. It's nice the fact that they've actually done they've highlighted during that pay-per-view 2 White, was it? 2 matches coming up in Dynamite this week coming.
Mm.
And that was one of them. And what was the other one, Uma? The 2 of your boys. You,
2 of my boys.
you got a picture. You're sending a picture around to all of us on what you stood there with one of them.
Help me out.
One of the Lucha brothers.
Oh, yes.
Lucha. Oh, yes. Lucha. Yeah, my brothers. Yeah. Me,
Yeah, one of your brothers. I told you. Yeah.
He my G right here. Yeah. For all those that don't know, me and Pentagon, we hung out for all of 1 minute. We are best.
Oh.
Yeah, well, they got that, don't they? Pentagon versus Ray Phoenix 2 advertised this Wednesday, and I'm fully looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That match will be greater than that match. Sorry.
I feel your pain. Don't worry. But yeah, no, it'll be I think it'll be a very. I'm not sure why the match is happening, but it's going to be a fantastic match.
I think personally, it's going to be the beginning of the split between these two, at least a temporary split, because Pac's doing it shortly, isn't he? And obviously, like you look at the fact what obviously Eddie Kingston's been saying, hasn't he? He calls one of the brothers his best mate, the other one is his brother. So he's not emphasising as much as obviously. And if Pac's going to come along, would Pac steal one of them immediately?
Maybe so.
We'll see.
Probably be good to split them up in some ways because the tag team division is it's almost too full in some ways.
Yeah,
they might get a chance to shine the single wrestlers.
I think it could work. So, well, watch your space. Anyway, on to the women's AEW women's title match next.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, Uma, would you like to talk about this first? Shida versus Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero.
1 moment.
Let me chow God. I don't really see tonight, guys and girls. Well, I've got 2 people with me here that are up to 5 o'clock in the morning. It's the perks of an older man that went to bed at 11. Quite wisely.
Yo, you make it sound like me and Paul are like young whippersnappers. We're not. If we were young whippersnappers, we would be fine. But
that's a good point.
There's nothing hard to admit it. I'm 48, and you two. I know Paul's over 20 years younger than me, and Uma, you're not certainly nowhere near my age.
All right, so basically, yeah, it was a good match. I think it was a bit slow at places, but I think that the angle after the match was interesting. But I think I was having this chat with Butters. I thought that Nyla Rose would win, but he made the good argument that they need to build up Hikaru Shida more because in the long term, I think that Britt Baker will win the belt. But they're going to build her up, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Paul, your thoughts? Thanks.
Yeah. Like I love Nyla Rose. I love Shida. It wasn't a terrible match. For me, it was probably the weakest match in the card, though. At the same time, they had a few nice spots, but it was a little bit slow at times, a little bit sloppy at times. Nothing terrible, but and I didn't get the angle afterwards. I think again, I do trust AEW. I'll see where it goes, but I just thought it made Nyla Rose look really weak, or really kind of just didn't look great.
Yeah, it did do a lot for me, the ending of it. And I felt when I was watching the fight, like you, Paul, I thought it was good, not great. And the problem I had with it was after watching Shida versus Thunder Rosa, I thought this match was definitely, and it's not going to go Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose, I think you're right, it's a good worker. I just thought
I
this
think
was
Nyla
good.
Rose and Shida at Double or Nothing, I think, was way better than this. I think their last match was a lot better.
Yeah.
I feel you know what it is, right? I think that one of the things I feel, and I think this is an issue with AEW in itself, I think that eventually they need to keep building the women division up more because what's happening is that I think it feels like Nyla and Hikaru Shida, they just seemed a little bit half a step too slow. I don't think the flow of the match was as good as it should be. I think AEW, so literally Nyla Rose, if you're listening to this podcast, yeah, if you want to come on the show, just talk to Tony Khan, and we need to have at least one extra segment of women's wrestling. I know we got 2 hours of wrestling, but yeah, build it up, and
there was no build to this story, right? Like this.
No, that
was
was
just thrown there.
There was probably a building story with the NWA Women's Championship, and that was thrown together as well. So
yeah,
I don't know if you saw on
them
Twitter.
both.
I don't know if you saw on Twitter, Cody responded to criticism about the build-up to that match.
And what did he say?
He said, you know, that's just going to happen sometimes because we present a more sports-orientated feel, so there's not always going to be a story. And I'm like, that would be nice if, you know, it happened to any other match except for the ones in the women's division.
Yeah, that
when
was
every other match in the card has story.
Maybe in the background, you know. I mean, with Fulham Football Club getting no investment, I think AEW will definitely invest in because for all those that don't know, the Khan family own Fulham Football Club, and they've gone down the pot. So I think for real, AEW will get more investment, and you know what, Thunder Rosa, please say Thunder Rosa is all elite, because that will change the division. And also literally buy AEW, can you buy the whole Stardom roster as well if that helps? That will also help. Yeah, big up, although I believe that Bushy Road's owned them, but you know, Bushy Road, if you're listening, I know I'm going in a tangent, but if you're listening to this podcast, can you just like talk to AEW, be like, yo fam, do you want any of our wrestlers? Be like, yeah fam.
I like the way, we're not going to let you work with New Japan, but we'll sell you Stardom.
Brilliant.
Wait, isn't John Moxley still the United States?
Oh yes, we'll let you work with like 2 people from New Japan.
Oh what? He's like the longest reigning United States IWGP. What a guy, John Moxley, great champion.
What was that belt we had the other week when Kenny Omega came in against?
Triple R. He's the Triple R.
Triple A mega heavyweight champion.
Yeah, he's like the main champion. He won it off Ray Phoenix in an episode. Oh, he won it in the Triple R Triple Mania last year, I believe.
Has he defended that one since?
He's defended it. He's defended on AEW TV once or twice.
Yeah, and he's
on Dynamite.
And I think he wrestled once or twice in Triple R. But you know what? At Triple A, yeah. If you'd like to work with AEW more, yeah.
I think AAA though, they don't do a lot of title defenses. I think 3 or 4 times in a year would be normal.
We completely brushed off this big elephant in the room. Don Callis commentated on the first match.
Yeah,
Don
fantastic.
Callis, Impact Wrestling vice president, the guy who runs the thing. What is this? Everyone wants to work with AEW. You know what I mean? Like Paul McNamara. Impact Wrestling, Triple NWA, you know what I mean? It's incredible. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
I've got something about that. I was chatting to my brother about this lunchtime today. Actually, my brother said the same as I did. This was a way. You think pre-WWE was they used to have all the territories in America, didn't you? And this feels like territories again, working well. In the case of independent companies working with each other. Or not the case of, to want to get AEW to take them over. They're all the AEW is almost like you use them to build them up so they can put their workers in there and go keep the work together. And it seems it's an excellent approach. It seems to be working really well.
Yeah, no, they're really good with interacting with other companies, and hopefully it keeps going. Get some dream matches out of it.
I think, to be honest with you, you think that I did read talk somewhere that as soon as they can get travelling abroad, Cody said this last week, I believe, they want to come into England and play a series of dates in England, working with British talents as well. I thought that'd be lovely to see some, right? See, great. They seem like they know what they're doing, and everyone wants to work with them, don't they? So, which I find really interesting. So it does seem a different approach, doesn't it?
Okay. Star ratings for Shida and Nyla Rose.
Oh God, completely. Yeah, we wandered off completely, haven't we?
Move on.
Right. What do you say, Uman, for that? And what do you give it?
3. Thank you. Good night. And
3.
please, You keep pushing the women's stars. We need to see more Eva. We need to see more Diamante. We need to
I
see.
love Diamante. Diamante's brilliant.
Yeah.
We need to see, and you know what? Why did her name escape me? The first AEW Women's Champion.
Ryu.
Rio.
Yeah,
She's stuck in Japan, isn't she?
Yeah, listen, Riho, yeah, like, I'm sure there's flights from Tokyo right now. Go to Florida. Listen, right, yo, Riho, the pandemic, don't worry. The Democrats have won the election. America will be a little bit more better, like, hopefully a lot more better but by the tyranny of Orange. So, yes, please, Riho, if you're listening to this podcast,
Come back.
come back.
Come back. Yeah, no. 3 for me as well. So
yeah, 3.25 would be nice, but it was sloppy at times. It wasn't perfect, but it did it. Yeah.
I think you were right, Paul. We said before it probably was the weakest match on the card. Actually, for me, that was so.
Yeah.
But
I know that says more about the card than that, I think. But
yeah, for definite. Right. Okay. Next match was the longest match of the night, and this seemed like it went on longer than what it did actually as well to me. We had FTR versus the Young Bucks, which was a logged as Wade Keller and was 29 minutes. It seemed like it went on a bit longer than that to me actually.
Wait, you went to Wade Keller?
No, I was reading his report this afternoon after I've watched the program. Just the timings.
Wade Keller, listen, Wade Keller, yeah, I know you need to make money, but your podcast, yeah, I listened to your one podcast with John Moxley. Every 3 minutes is ads. This is not YouTube, man, all right? Like, it's like, yeah, what do you think of this, man? Join in next time. Give me a new mustache. Like, bro, like, what is your press that skip 30 button on your podcast, like, every single time? But no, going back to the point, like, oh my days, this match had absolutely everything. I love this match. It was well worth the 3 to 4 years. This is this rating. I'm going to tell you the rating right now. This is 5.5 stars.
Ooh, I was going to give it a 2 as well. I was going to give it 2.5 at the best. I was going to give it 2.5 at best. Quick question with the pair of you then. And I don't recall it been mentioned before. Did it get mentioned Dynamite this Wednesday? Gone that Tully was in banter in ringside. I don't recall it. It seemed like that got announced quite late on, didn't it? So I don't recall it being mentioned.
I'm not sure if it was beforehand. Maybe it's just gone into the match.
Yeah, I think that then. But no, this really was good storytelling. I love the fact when they built it, didn't they? From the previous last time or two, they had said, obviously one of the Jackson boys was carrying an injury. And the rumour has it, apparently, he was actually legit hurt as well.
Yeah. It's kind of an old injury, apparently. They're saying they kind of got acted up.
Yeah, that's what I've read.
But
nothing to do with FDR, yeah, just an old injury lapped it up. But it's still, to put a performance like that and if you're carrying an injury, that's a heck of a way to go. That was.
It was a phenomenal match. Like, again, as Drake, again, I'm 5-star probably for me. I was talking to my housemate about it, like, outside of maybe that Walter match in NXT UK, if you saw that, this is probably my favourite match I've seen in the last couple of months.
I believe so. I've heard that was exceptional, that match.
Great.
This is a 5-star match as well.
Like that, it was a bit slow for a while for the first third of it, first half of it, but I think that made the rest of it seem even more exciting then when they really kicked it up a gear. And it was just phenomenal. It was just every move, all the throwbacks to the other tag teams were cool. Very completely clever. Going out of each other's, like that finish with, I can't remember which one of FTR doing the 450 splash.
I saw that.
Everything was just incredible.
Yeah, this must have took some real seriously working out in the forward and the ring day. You can tell a lot of planning went into it straight away for me. And what got me with it was, you're right with Paul, it seemed to build it up really, really slowly. But when it clicked, it really clicked. And what I liked about it was obviously if you watch Young Bucks fights, they they're very, very different to what this fight was. This was quite different to what we've been seeing a lot of in AEW, really. It wasn't like what the Young Bucks would normally do, and I thought myself, it seemed to work really well. Bought the best out of both teams straight away. That's why. So, was Dax Harwood actually legit hurt there when they joined that fight? Wonder went to go see the doctor, didn't he? Was it Dax?
Yeah.
Was
I
it
think, it's hard to know because they incorporated the hand so well into the match that it's hard to know if they improved it or if it was actually planned all along.
Yeah, I don't know. If it was improv into, I felt it looked like a legit hurt, and they didn't seem to do what they did, a screwy finish of it like they did before, didn't they? And then went down hurt. But I think the improv into it really well. I thought it was exceptionally good tonight. It was.
Like honestly, outside of maybe like probably the DIY matches they had in NXT, I think this is the best FTR have ever been. I think it was a lot better than their Hangman Page Kenny Omega match. I just thought it was just brilliant.
No, that's fair enough because you're looking at Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, very good single wrestlers, and they had a really good run, didn't they, as a tag teams? But the Young Bucks have been a tag team for years, haven't they? So, and I think it shows sometimes when you get that sort of telepathy, doesn't it, built over time, and they brought the best out of each other, haven't they? So, Umar, have you got anything else you want to add about this before we carry on?
Good evening, guys. I'm telling you how this match was perhaps the match that we've been dreaming of. This match had homages to the past, heart attacks, various other moves, sharpshooters, the lot, everything.
Wonton bombs.
You know what?
Yeah.
This is why this match is 5.5 stars out of 5. This match is breaking the Dave Meltzer scale, and I feel that this match is the hallmark as to why tag team wrestling is alive in North America. And the 3 letters you need to know is AEW.
No, well, you get 5 more, blimey. Should we wake you up here, Paul, in about half an hour? We get to John Moxley, get to Kingston.
I'll do.
I was going to say, seriously, Paul, what would you give that 1 out of 5 then? Because Uma's give it 5.5, and I'm going to say 5, I reckon.
5. Yeah. 5. Like, again, there was very little you could really complain about.
Yeah, I think so.
Just brilliant.
5.5 out of 5.
Yeah, look at that. Hey, guys and girls, how much we thought of that? My one of the matches of the year, this has to be. So, right, okay. Well, after this, we went to a very, very strange one now. Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in Elite.
5 stars. I'm telling you.
I don't know about that. Elite deletion.
I have to say, right, we're just going to go straight off with that. How the hell is Gangrel and Hurricane Helms involved in this?
I didn't even recognise Gangrel, to be honest with you. That's why I showed you a long ago. I've not seen him, in a wrestling ring, 20 years?
Did you know?
2 years.
A couple of years ago, Gangrel did a UK tour of wrestling shows.
Wow. He looked a good elf, to be honest with you. He looked a very good elf, so.
It's because he's probably secretly a member of the, what's that, Dre? Dark Order.
Dark Order, yeah.
I will say, like, while the Young Bucks versus FTR was my favorite match by far of the night and in a long time, my favorite moment in wrestling, I think, in the last few weeks was the firework, like, trenches. Like, warfare.
Oh, I know. That firework thing was just insanity, that was. It was absolutely insane.
I haven't laughed so much at a wrestling show in a long time.
Can we just talk also about Sammy Guevara's world-class vehicle, the golf buggy?
Listen, was it Spanish God? Yeah. I thought brilliant.
And that's what you call the squash. That was the line.
I'll tell you one thing before I think about it before. I looked before it. Orange Cassidy versus, obviously, John Silver. You think after what we had before with the tag team match, and this then led into Moxley versus Eddie Kingston, this again was a change in gear, wasn't it?
Mm.
Again, it was just
changing. It was just, there was a lot of different matches happening, which was really nice.
Yeah.
There was one thing, I don't know how you feel about it. The ending of the Hardy Guevara, I found a little bit odd when they were doing the throwback to Matt, like, walloping his head off the concrete.
Didn't like
where
it.
They had Sammy kind of like bleeding, and I was kind of like, I don't know how I felt about that. I thought that was a bit odd.
I didn't I didn't like that bit. It worried me again. Considering what they've gone through previously, I thought myself that was a bit. It looked like Sammy. They were holding it back a bit, but I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Like, I thought they shouldn't be doing that. And it was too much for me. So.
But yeah, like, and the ending as well. Like, well, not big complaints, but just I think they went from the serious to the silly very quickly, which I thought was a little bit of a clash.
I think, let's be fair, like, come on, the Elite Deletion is not meant to be serious. Like, I mean, it's like saying, right, I'm going to a pinata party. I'm not expecting it to be a mortuary. You know what I mean? Like, I feel that it served its purpose. I think it was great comic relief and great entertainment after the greatest tag team match in the history of wrestling. And
Ooh.
yeah,
Whoa.
No, no. Yeah,
Whoa.
And you know what? Sammy Guevara, he sells like a mother trucker, and you know what? The thing is, big up for figuring out a way to bring out Santana Ortiz and Private Party in the pay-per-view. And somehow, right at the end, Hurricane Helms is like, "Yeah," I'm like, "What are you doing here? What is going on?" So, for entertainment and tomfoolery and the projectile firework battle, 5 stars.
Wow. Great. I'm thinking, everyone's wondering, you can tell that Uma's in about 3 hours sleep there.
No, look, you know what? To be fair, taking the projectile firework battle on its own, I want to give that a 5-star rating.
No, that's fair enough point. So,
and you know what? So if the whole match was just projectiles, you would have rated this 5 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got to say, actually, I thought when you saw Hurricane Helms come over, the hurricane, I thought to myself, he didn't look like he daydreamed much at all, actually, because when was he active in WWE originally? About 20 years ago. It was a few years back, wasn't it?
2002.
Don't forget, Hurricane Helms pinned The Rock.
Yeah, I remember doing that as well. But like, I didn't think he looked like it. It was hard to judge if how much the beat he still had when wrestling, but looks-wise, I don't think he really changed at all. So that was quite surprising. I wasn't expecting to see him in Gangrel. That caught me out. That was a real nice surprise. And did you both like seeing? Was it his wife, Reba's dad, Uncle Senor at the end of it?
Senor Benjamin.
Senor Benjamin, that was it. Yeah. Whilst I've seen that as well, blimey.
That was a nice little finish, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought like overall this was really fun. Like the dilapidated boat made a little appearance, falling on the lads left outside when they were running into the shed. I thought it was just overall. I don't think I'll give it 5 stars, but like it was overall 4, like a solid 4.25 star. Really fun, really enjoyable, really creative.
Yeah, I think my case was I was worried that bit at the end of the headshot thing that really worried me.
That I didn't like that very much.
Didn't like that at all. That's going to knock me down. This is where I'm asking for Berry now, because that gets 3.5 to me, because I thought that was too much. I think if it hadn't done that sort of, it felt too recklessly, it probably got 4.5. I loved the fireworks play. That was brilliant in the trenches. And I loved the way they brought in, obviously, like the cameos and stuff. And I loved what they did to Hurricane Helms, where they had the Lake of Purification. He comes out as a reporter and gets pushed back in the lake again. That was great fun, but his chair shot thing was too much, and that was a real worry. That one, but again, it was good fun. So, right, okay. What have we got
We're
next?
on to Jericho MGF next.
I think it is Jericho MGF next. Yeah, it is. But we also have before that as well, did touch on it as well, about Lance Archer and Jake Roberts. Obviously, that.
Well, great promo. Yeah.
It was a good promo, that. Did you both notice as well at the moment that Lance Archer seems to be getting slowly more and more time on the mic, doesn't he?
You know what it is? I think Paul will probably agree with you. When you have your manager as one of the greatest talkers in the wrestling business, of course you're going to improve. It's like, for example, if I'm going to sit down with Andy N with a 1 week poetry seminar, I'm going to be like, not me, I mean Dre Zero. Dre Zero is going to be like he's going to reach Dr. John Cooper Clark's level. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think you do. You do. I felt it myself. There was a confidence in Lance Archer that's coming through more and more. And I thought that was a really good promo. It was a good promo on that. I love the fact that it set up, obviously, Lance Archer going back after the main belt again. And obviously, that's going to be, I can't, but they've got themselves nearly 4 months, haven't they? So they could easily get that to Christmas time into the beginning next year of him and whoever holds the AEW belt.
Like, I think on a very selfish level, just because I love Jake Snake Roberts promo, I had in my head that I would have preferred for Jake to deliver the whole promo, because I like that kind of manager silent killer thing. But at the same time, I think Lance did a really good job.
Yeah, it was really creepy, Jake Snake and Roberts, and that was definitely so. Right, we'll come on to the mix. I want to ask you both a couple of questions at the end, okay? So, right, okay. We're on MJF now versus Chris Jericho. This was a fight that was 16 minutes, actually, again. So, looks like a lot of them were about 16, 17 minutes this time as well. So, I liked the beginning of this one, actually, for me. Well, you think about this, Paul, as well, where he had all the crowd singing Jericho's song again, didn't they? And then obviously MJF came out and he asked for silence. And I love the fact that the crowd
was beautiful.
He's such a good bloody heel, this guy. He's exceptional.
Oh, actually, sorry. Can I go back to something I missed earlier in the night?
What's that, mate?
Because I'm just talking about great heel moves. The best heel move, one of the finest heel moves of all time, was John Silver ripping out Orange Cassidy's pockets.
Oh, God, yeah. I forgot about that, yeah. That was
if that had been in a full arena, they would have been booed out of the building. You would have heard it from the other side of the continent.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I was sat there thinking, what a movie. Yeah, perfect that was. Yeah, of course. They can really get heel heated in, they can.
Genius.
Yeah.
Absolute genius.
Of course, yeah.
But that MJF was really nice as well. The MJF mode, like silencing the crowd or shushing the crowd, was beautiful as well.
Yeah. I was really bizarre because Jericho started off playing babyface at the beginning, didn't he? And he did it as a handshake officer. Then it turned into Swing Fest. And that was a weird start as well. So that's why. But yeah, it was. What did you think of this fight, Paul? Then I don't know. Everyone's wondering where Umar's gone. We think he's fell asleep on the floor.
Nah.
I thought it was good. A really good solid match. I thought it was quite competitive. It was kind of tied into the story very well. It wasn't overtly violent or aggressive. With that kind of more trying to one up each other. But Jericho maybe even giving it a bit more than MJF. And I thought the ending was done. I thought that was the perfect way to end it. Pretty much that kind of MJF beating Jericho at his own game.
I think needed to move the storyline on. It felt like this was a chess piece and a longer stretch of fights to me, this one. It wasn't like a one and done fight. And everyone's wondered what happened at the end was. And I think this was really well done. He stated Wardlow ran out to give MJF his dynamite diamond ring. It wasn't used as a weapon, but Jericho ducked, didn't he? And Jake Hager tossed to Jericho his baseball bat. Then the referee fought it with it, and then MJF rolled up behind for the 3 count. And I thought that was really quite a clever finish. That was so.
Yeah, pulled Eddie Guerrero on it.
Yeah. Umar, what do you think then?
Great match.
Detailed analysis. I wrestled up. Umar, you can tell.
Okay. Umar, star rating, and then go back to sleep.
Oh, he's crying now. Obviously, that's what you thought of that fight.
So, 4 star?
4.
4.
4.
What are you going to give it, Paul?
4.
Yeah, 4 again for me. It wasn't my favourite match of the I felt it was more of the best bit of me with the end of it, the angle at the end. No, it was really good, that. Right, okay. And we had a quick promo after that, didn't we? With Uma's man Miro, with Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian interrupting their best friends. Now,
what's
that was a
Miro
bit weird.
doing? What is Rusev doing with that?
I've not got my head around that yet, sis. And someone's to shoot up in it and tell us off on this one. I'm still not convinced that Kip Sabian's the right partner for him.
Yeah, but I don't know. He's a weird positioning in the company at the moment, and I'm not sure really what the future holds for him.
Yeah, I felt they had a good fight good Wednesday. Did you watch it Wednesday against Trent in Best Friends Ball?
No, is that good?
Yeah, it was good. It was a good fight. Umor, did you watch the Trent fight versus Miro on Wednesday just gone?
Yeah, it was good.
We might need to wrap this up.
Yeah, I think we'll do a quick finish here and skip the last fight. That's what Umar did in the middle of the night, didn't he?
We won't turn off the stream though. We'll leave it play.
Right. Right, guys and girls. Seriously, we're going to get to the
Eddie
last fight.
Kingston, John Moxley.
Yeah, we're getting to that one now. Then, okay. Yeah, we've done.
That was
we're ready now.
brutal.
That was rough.
That was just methodically hard to watch.
Yeah, we're talking about Moxley and Eddie Kingston. 5 stars.
You had a good night.
As you can see, guys and girls, this is what we suffer for now. One of our team below me here is at 3 hours sleep. The other one's at about 4 above me. But the one below us is barely conscious now. No.
You know what it is, yeah? If we just lived like that way a bit, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think we've lived in America with this podcast a lot easier.
But
I lived in
Tony Khan, yeah, just have pay-per-views here, innit?
I lived in America for 3 months last year, and it
did
was
you?
so weird to have like wrestling at a normal time of the night.
Yeah.
In New York.
Oh man, you're a lucky man.
Yeah, you got to bed at a reasonable hour then, Paul, didn't you? So with that one. So right, we better get on to this now, okay? Because we want to get the podcast concluded every tonight for our third and the falls asleep here, Paul, don't we? So
After we record here, yeah, I'm off to do a poetry event.
Like, after we record here, I'm going to bed.
Not far as well. I've got 6 o'clock in the morning to get up for work tomorrow, so yeah, that's why.
Okay, I think we need to get through this so Dre can sleep.
Yeah, I think so. Well, he might make his poser reading. So right, okay, we'll start this one. I agree with you. I think Moxley does seem to do a lot of quite no rules matches. This was one of the roughest I've seen. This one it was.
Like, I hope to God it wasn't a real spot that they used water or something, but that rubbing alcohol.
That looked bloody painful. That looked painful, that did. And then when he went on the tax as well, the tax is sticking out his back, and I was sat there. Yeah,
he had a couple of tacks and he stuck into his head at one stage, and I was just like, oh no.
Yeah, it got. I felt the honesty of this one. The criticism I had of it was of Eddie Kingston's clothing, actually. I think he wore the wrong gown to it. It made him look a lot more out of shape than what he is, really.
Yeah. I think the commentator was saying it was a tribute to Misawa Misawa, the Japanese wrestler. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
That's fine.
The color scheme, anyway. But I can see where you're coming from at the same time.
Yeah, I thought Kingston matched him move for move to us. I think he's a very, very good fighter, not wrestler. Fighter. That's a different sort of move altogether with him. I don't think he's a very technical wrestler in Kingston, but he's a fantastic brawler. And what got me was I loved the ending of it when Moxley tried to shake his hand and he wouldn't have it. I thought that's really good storytelling. It leaves it open then for a rematch, and you can see Kingston on the ground, fake. He was clearly faking it, but it was really well done. But the tears thing at the end when he realised he just wasn't good enough.
Just like the video package beforehand, the promos coming into this, Eddie Kingston's like, I'm going to take that belt home to my mother and I'm going to tell her this is why you don't have grandchildren, this is why you don't have a daughter-in-law. And Moxley being like, well, you're going to go home to your mother and tell her you lied or something, or you couldn't keep your promise. And you're like, Oh, that's so good.
That
That's
full,
so good. Like such good writing.
the full promo from last week of those two was exceptional. It was one of the best promos I've seen in ages, and it really was
So good.
devastatingly good. And by all accounts, I've been reading talk, and most of that was improv on this as well. Because I know what I've heard.
Whatever it was
Yeah.
brilliant.
Eddie doesn't really do scripts. I think they did it as bullet points really to the pair of them. They knew what they had to say, and it felt. Obviously, you can't ask Umor this because he's asleep on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
But it was the style of the promo from what the clip you saw, Paul. It's not a WWE promo at all, was it?
No.
It had that sort of realness about them, and because I like the fact they were talking at the beginning of it, where they said that the referee knew them both really well and been out on a road trip with Excalibur and Eddie Kingston and the past, and I thought myself, I thought that was a really good bit. That was an information.
That's when you're talking about like the territory thing and just the working with other companies. That's what WWE misses out on a lot sometimes, where it doesn't acknowledge the past enough. It doesn't acknowledge the stories. It doesn't acknowledge the the history so many of these wrestlers have with each other. And like that just really, the commentary team overall, I did a great job last night. I was actually really impressed. Excalibur telling that story in the middle of it was just really, it made it felt more real. Feel more real.
Yeah, I got that as well. There was a real edge. I think after the last pay-per-view, they just took a fair bit of criticism over that. I think this one, they were determined to make a much more solid show. And I think it worked really well for that reason. I thought it was a really good show. And that's what they did. There was a lot of good bits they did in it. JR was on point. Excalibur's usually great in it for me anyway. He very rarely gets it wrong, Excalibur. And I think Tony Schiavone was really good as well. So yeah, great. Yeah. Did you both think, Paul, that it was the right move getting Moxley to win against Eddie Kingston?
Oh yeah. It's Kenny Omega's time, I think.
Yeah, I do.
Omega time, yeah.
You think really Omega's going to probably get this belt at the end of February? Because at the moment it's just over 200 odd days now, isn't it? Mox has had the belt for, isn't it? By the time we get to the end of February, that's pushing a year.
AEW champion in history.
Yeah, he'll be pushing a year based on Mox loses his belt. That's a good run. That's a really good run for me. That.
He did great. He's doing a really good job.
You guys rate the Moxley match? I was killing.
We said brutal. Would you agree, Paul? That's the best way of putting it to our audience, isn't it? Brutal. What did you think?
Brutal, but really psychologically sound.
5.
No, 5 for me. That's straight away. I was engrossed in it. I think. I don't think it was a technical masterpiece, that, and the storytelling in the books and
how
FDR.
Quit match a technical masterpiece. That's like saying that my articulation is a masterpiece. Now it's a disaster piece. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, this was a good story. The fact it was just, they had the emotional content in it. It seemed to work really well for me, that. And they've got Eddie Kingston over now as a major star now.
I can finally have a disagreement. I did love it, but it's more like 4.25 for me, 4.5 kind of.
Right, you know what? Nah, this is an aberration of a ranking, right? Like, we'll factor in the story, the brutality, the motion, and match.
Everyone's wondering tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing Umor. Which poetry reading are you going to next? I'm going to go log into this. I want to see how you steal the show.
The one that Finn's running, the Bolt from the Blue.
Oh, Finn's one, yeah. Oh, I'll tune into that. Just to watch her.
Don't worry about it.
Right.
You don't show up.
Okay.
It's oh man, I mean, I don't want to say this, but I might need an emergency espresso.
Right.
Okay.
Should we wrap things up?
We'll wrap things up then. Let Umor go get an emergency espresso.
This is an A pay-per-view. This is a amazing. One of the best probably the best pay-per-view that AEW has done. This is an inspiration. This makes me feel like a kid again, that everything is candy and everything is rosy, even though this world is burning right now, but that's all good.
Yeah.
Definitely. I give it an A as well.
Yeah, it has to be.
I had those moments. Young Bucks match, especially, I felt like a kid again watching the second half of that. I just got so into it.
I'm the same as you two guys here. Whether this is their best pay-per-view they've done this year, I'm not sure. It's better than the last one they did a couple months ago. I think it's been me and you, Paul, you talked, didn't we? That was a good show. This was a grade up. It really was a great show indeed. So yeah, A for me. So the next one's the 27th of Feb now, isn't it? So I think we're gonna have to probably. Everyone's wondering. We're not going to hang around for 4 months waiting for the next one. We'll pick out a couple of strategic points to do specials we talk about specifically where they're up to. So, right, guys and girls, Umor, sell your book, and we'll let you go and get the emergency espresso.
Yeah, I have a book, Broken Circuit. We'll buy it now, thanks.
Right, I've got nothing I'm selling at the minute, so just tune in, guys, to stay safe. Paul, have you got anything you want to sell or flog?
No, might have some stuff coming out next year, but not at the moment.
Yeah, good. Keep us informed. Oh, by the way, guys and girls, we haven't actually outed Paul this year today because everyone's wondering he's now a doctor. So for next episode, if I remember, we'll be calling him Dr. Paul instead of Paul, won't we?
What about Dr. McNamara? That has a ring to it.
Oh,
I like that. Doctor of Poetry.
Well done for that, Paul.
Dr. P. We don't know what the P stands for.
Dr. P. McNamara.
I like that. Definitely start calling Doctor next time, we'll remember. So, right, guys and girls, that's it for today. We'll let Umor go with emergency espresso. I don't mean the last much more. So, this is Andy N signing out. Thank you as always, Paul.
Bye, guys.
And see you. Thank you again, Umor. See you all soon, guys. Stay safe. And most importantly, to quote Don Callis, stay over.